Welcome to a brand new episode of The Drop, the weekly show where I let you know the hottest games coming out across the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PC, the Switch, and this week, that's right, the PlayStation Vita. There is in fact a Vita game coming out in 2020. But this week's headliner is Jump King, a game out now on PC. This week it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, and it has risen to fame through the likes of Twitch.tv and its incredibly frustrating gameplay. We have that game and more to dive into today, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Tactical leaping adventure Jump King, there is a smoking hot babe at the top, that's the official name, is a platforming challenge about struggling upwards in search of the legendary smoking hot babe. This lonely adventure to reach the top will demand full mastery of the technique of jumping. Just try to remember, with each fall there is a lesson to be learned. Prepare for true high-stakes platforming. The only way forward is up, and your enemy is yourself. Tensions rise with each jump when a single mistake means a long fall and you have to get back up again yourself. Hold the charge and release to leap away. The seemingly simple act of jumping will take much practice to master. Use your mind before you jump. The obvious path is sometimes not the best, and once you are in the air, there is no turning back. The higher you jump, the harder you fall. All progress and each fall is auto-saved. It has tough but addictive gameplay. You can challenge your friends to master this test of resolve, and you have hours of nail-biting suspense awaiting you in Jump King. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this game rose to fame through Twitch.tv because it has that same frustrating element that is found in Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. For those that are not familiar with that game, it's essentially that game where you have a man sitting in an iron pot and he has a hammer flinging himself from platform to platform, crawling up this giant mountain of trash. And one bad move can make you land at the very bottom of the screen, aka the start of the game. You can literally be 10 seconds from finishing the entire game and you'll be back at square one with just one bad move. That element is encapsulated in the world of Jump King, but mixed with that is classic, iconic, old school platforming, which I can definitely respect. Now, I've spent many hours watching many streamers play this game, and I can say it is simpler than Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. I think that is safe to say. So I think that for fans of platforming, this one might be a bit more inviting for you, but make no mistake, it is still incredibly punishing. But if you do want to dive into Jump King, it's coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch, and it's out now on PC. Next up, we have 1971 Project Helios coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. 1971 Project Helios is a turn-based strategy game which combines modern warfare military tactics and close combat. Firearms and vehicles are scarce, conflicts and hostilities have no end, and the terrible freezing cold annihilates friends and foes in its path. The campaign is set in a frozen world in which 8 people, each one with their own problems and interests, join in a sort of temporary alliance to find one particular person, Dr. Margaret Blythe. On the trail of her whereabouts, they will travel and fight shoulder to shoulder, and they inevitably get to know the others. Along their way, they will have to avoid raider attacks, investigate military headquarters, and infiltrate into the territory of a dangerous anti-technological religious sect. Depending on some strategic and personal decisions, you will guide these characters to one of 3 possible endings. If you close your eyes and you imagine a post-apocalyptic turn-based strategy game, that's exactly what 1971 Project Helios is. And that's not a bad thing, I'm just saying it seems rather run-of-the-mill. It's a pretty standard kind of experience. Even the bullet points, which I did not read, include tactical combat, something I would probably expect, exploration, skill trees, and resource management. This is not to say, again, that the game looks bad, but if you are looking for a standard post-apocalyptic turn-based strategy game, this one could scratch your itch, though I would suggest, if you have not played it, Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, very good game as well. But this one, 1971 Project Helios, is coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC. And to round out today's main releases, we have Demon's Tier Plus coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, the PlayStation Vita, and the PC. Demon's Tier Plus is a dungeon RPG roguelike with arcade and adventure elements. Enter the dungeons of King Thosgar and destroy his demonic minions. Combining the best elements from Xenon Valkyrie Plus and Riddled Corpses EX, this is the latest game in the Diabolical Mind trilogy. The story Thosgar, a hated king attracted by demonic rituals, turned into a dark and diabolical being, destroying almost all of humanity and flooding the world with monsters. This story became a legend and peace returned to the land. Thousands of years later, a mysterious pit appears in a village after a huge earthquake where an evil aura emanates from. Will you be the hero to save this world? If you are a fan of Into the Gungeon, you are more than likely going to be into Demons Tier Plus. Now, it's not quite as bullet hell oriented from the gameplay that I'm seeing as Into the Gungeon, but the overall setup is very similar. You have these floors that you have to clear. At the end of each floor, there is going to be a monster that you then defeat, then yeeting you into the next level, essentially. Throughout that, you have different characters with different abilities, you have different weapons you can choose. It's that kind of setup. So if you are into that, by all means, you can check out Demons Tier Plus when it launches this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, the Switch, the Vita, and the PC. And it is worth noting for those Vita collectors, there is a physical edition coming from East Asia Soft. To round out today's show, we have a couple of honorable mentions. First off, Journey is coming to Steam. No, not the 80s band. The PlayStation classic that came to the Epic Games Store last year is now making its way to PC gaming's most popular storefront. Then Samurai Showdown is also coming to PC, and Mortal Kombat Aftermath Collection is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch to bundle all of that DLC and game goodness together. But that rounds out today's episode of The Drop. If you enjoyed this week's show, drop me a like down below. And of course, if you are brand new here, subscribe and stay up to date on not only The Drop, but the Jam Pack Report, my daily gaming news podcast that I put out 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Would love to see you there. But until next time, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.